Okay, there you go. Hello everyone, how are you today? It's Kay. So I hope you're having a great weekend. Today, this is the 11th of September on Saturday. So every Saturdays, I talk about some psychology or mindset or money management. And today's topic is about different trading styles, because I know that there are scalpers and day traders and swing traders in my community. So I would like to talk about the pros and cons about these different trading styles, and a little bit about the story of myself, of how I became from how I became from scalping to swing trader. So let's discuss about these different trading styles today. So let me squeeze my face and get into the topic right now. So before starting here, this information today is basically based on my own experience and understanding. So when you take trades, please do at any risk. And also, if you can follow the guidelines and rules on this live stream, that would be great. So let's see. Let me say hi to everyone quickly and get to the topic right now. So, all right, Kel and Libor, thank you for joining. Kishore and Faya, Bill and Gabby, Sarosh, Sofiane, good to see you. All right, Mike and Wong, Nami also, thank you for joining. And Faiz, Carbon, Susan, Victor, good to see you. So looks like, hold on. I have actually created the poll from last week as usual, but in case you haven't done it yet, please let me know what your trading style is, whether it's a scalping or a day trade or swing trade. So let me create the poll on this live chat quickly. So that you can answer just by pressing the button. Okay, there you go. And if you already voted from last week, you can also vote on today's live chat also, so that so that we know how many traders are scalper and day trader and also swing trader. Because this is live, this is interesting to see the turnout. All right. Yeah, looks like the camera, there's a reflection on this on my glasses. Yeah, looks like I'm wearing some strange glass. Hold on, let me change my glass. I think this is not good for the camera. Okay, there you go. I think this is much better. Okay. So yeah, so let's talk about the different styles of the tradings. So once again, today's topic is about pros and cons of trading style. And I will briefly talk about how I became a scalper to day to swing trader. So last week I took the vote. The question was, which trading style are you? Either scalper, within 15 minutes you close, or day trader within 2 days, and swing trader more than 2 days. And interestingly, the YouTube had scalper the least and swing trader the most, 35, day trader 35, and scalper 30. So 35% for day to swing each, and for scalper it's 30%. But in Twitter, scalper, day trader were pretty much the same, and swing trader were the least. So it looks like among these two platforms, Twitter has more scalping mindset, whereas YouTube has more swing trading mindset. I think that is because Twitter is more quicker feeds, and it runs very fast. All the tweets goes very fast, and that's why I assume that for those who voted on Twitter prefers like scalping or day trade, like they wanted to see the result quickly is my observation. But anyways, these are almost the same level though. Like there's no big, big difference in terms of percentages, 30% or 35% on each trading style. And myself is between day to swing, so I will vote for the swing trade. I prefer to hold more than 2 days on my trades. And on the YouTube live stream side, let me close the vote. Okay, and let's see the result. All right, thank you for joining everyone once again. Good to see you on this live stream. All right, so let's see. Okay, here is a vote on the chat. It says day trade 46, scalping 30, and swing trade 23. So, okay, so day trading the most on current live stream chat. Okay, so basically today's topic is about the trading styles between scalping versus swing trade. And I don't really mention about the day trade because day trade is somewhere in between. So let me talk about the scalping and the pros about the scalping based on my experience. So pros about scalping, one of them is good turnover rate because you trade multiple times per day, so turnover rate is much better than swing trades. So you have better trade cycle. So let's say you exit the position and within 5 minutes you might be able to open other position. So because you're trading less than 50 minutes as a scalper, the trading cycle is very quick, and I think that's one of the pros about the scalping. So that you can expect more profits in the short term is a good thing about the scalping. And also another pros about scalping is low risk of holding the trades, because sometimes you see big events in the markets and it's a risk for a swing trader, because if you keep holding the position for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, then if there's a big crash in the market, you might lose all the assets, all the balance in account. But as a scalper, because you hold only very short time of the day, the risk of the big news like flash crash or these big events are less. So I would say low risk of holding trades is, I think, other pros about the scalping. But so let me now talk about the cons about the scalping. So one of the cons is high level of difficulty. I think scalping is very difficult because basically you look at the lower time frames and lower time frames become spiky, and you can't really read the chart directions. Basically you trade based on price action and lines, and whatever indicator you use, I think the difficulty, in terms of difficulty, it's very high for scalping. And the second cons about scalping is larger impact on the spreads. So if the broker offers high spread, then it might be difficult to scalp, because let's say you open position and your broker, let's say, takes 2 pips or 3 pips of a trade position. For the scalper, it means a lot. It might be very big in terms of the risk-reward ratio, and in terms of fixing profit, spread is a very big topic for the scalpers. So, but as a swing trader myself, even the broker offers 2 pips, 3 pips, it's like nothing as compared to the profits making 50 or 60 pips, sometimes 100 pips, 200 pips of profit. These are relatively lower as a swing trader. But for the scalper, it's relatively higher spread. Yeah, and also the other cons I think of about the scalper is urge to have positions. When you're a scalper, because you trade in the lower time frames and you don't really follow the higher time frame directions, you have many opportunities per day. But sometimes it's good, but sometimes it doesn't good. And most of the time it's become harmful to the traders, because technically you can trade at any time, at any positions on any markets as a scalper. And so urge to have positions is, I think, that one of the challenges for scalpers, because without any patience, you can look for any markets and look for any opportunities, almost, every minute or every 10 minutes or so. You can look for these trading edges. So the urge to have positions might be with you all the time if you are a scalper, and you might have a difficulty in balancing between work and life, for example. So I will talk about it more towards the later part of this live stream today, but these are the cons I think of as a scalper. Because myself was a scalper before. When I first started the Forex trades, I was a scalper. I used to have 6 screens in front of myself and screen chart 30 pairs, 35 pairs at the same time. When I was working full-time also, I was also doing scalping and also day trade, both ones. But every time I see charts moving in lower time frames, I get excited because I thought I have more opportunities to the market. And so I started to apply my strategies and started to take trades by scalping. And I found I faced difficulty because, the market, let's say the market shows uptrend in the lower time frames, and let's say you decide to buy for whatever reason, and the market goes up initially, but soon it goes backwards, and you might lose for example, in 5 minutes. So for the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you might win, and for the 5 minutes, you might lose, because it's lower time frames and the market goes very spiky. So, but at that time, when I was a newbie, I thought that will be I have many opportunities per day, so why not going for scalping? If I do the day trade or scalping, if I choose between day trade and scalping, I would definitely choose scalping at that time. So I created my strategy like that by scalping style, and sometimes I won, but sometimes I lost. But more than losses or wins, my time was very, very violated by these trades. So when I was working full-time, I came back home maybe at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., or sometimes 8 p.m. I come back to home, and after that, I ate dinner, and sometimes while I'm eating dinner, I was checking charts, monitor charts, and taking trades until I go to bed. So sometimes I see opportunities in the midnight in Japan time at that time in the New York session. I used to stay up maybe until like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. and wake up in the morning like 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and go to work like that, and come back to home and constantly taking trades after that. So scalping is very good because you can take trades, you can find opportunities as the market goes on every day. But it doesn't mean that you can make profit in long run. So, but the pros about the scalping is like this: good turnover rate, so you can take trades more and you have more opportunities than swing traders. So, I think these are the pros and cons about the scalping trades. So, if you are a scalper right now, and if you're watching this live stream right now, please make comment on chat that you think about pros and cons about the scalping. Please let me know, and I will come back to these comments after I finish my talk for today. So so let's move on to the swing trades. And let me start to talk about the swing trades pros. So one of the pros is easier analysis for the beginners. I think for beginners, I recommend you to be a swing trader because technical analysis works better in higher time frames and lower time frames. So, and that's why I recommend everybody not to use Ichimoku Kinko-hyo in lower time frames, and because Ichimoku is a bit lagging indicator, so it works very well in higher time frames, but it doesn't really so in the lower time frames. This is also based on my own experience when I was a scalper. I used to use Ichimoku also, try to apply Ichimoku in lower time frames, but it wasn't really working. So I was using other indicators at that time. But after I became a swing trader, or day-to swing trader, then technical analysis works much better than lower time frames. So I think that's one of the pros about the swing trade. If you study about the indicators and strategies, that works better in higher time frames. And also another pros about a swing trader is good if you're busy. Good if you're busy, because you might be busy with your work, your family, your whatever you do in life, you might be busy. And if you have limited time to trade per day, then I recommend you to become a swing trader. And here's the reason why. And to talk about that, let me talk about the scalper also. So here's your question. What happens when when a busy person trades scalping? What happens when a busy person trades scalping? And this is actually based on my own experience also. But here's a question. You might think that the scalping is good for a busy person, but in my opinion, no. And because if you're busy, then being a scalper can damage your work-trade life balance. Like I mentioned before, you might be too busy also with the tradings because you have opportunities more per day as a scalper, then your work-life balance might be imbalanced. And I think that will be one of the first steps towards your psychological frustration too. Because sometimes you take trades, after you get tired, you come back home from work full-time and get tired, and you see charts and take trades. But even if you take trades, after you get tired from the job, you might not going to be able to make profits. And then you might get more frustrated. And then what's going to happen next is you cannot make correct trade decisions. If you are frustrated on scalping trades or your work or life itself, then you cannot make correct decisions in your trades. And then if you cannot make correct decisions, then what's going to happen next is you keep losing trades and also you keep losing money in the assets. So, and then you keep losing motivation. Your level of motivation drops down all the way because the more you take trades, the more you lose money. So your level of motivation keeps dropping down, and then you will be out of the game of trading. I've seen this pathway a lot before when I was a newbie. I had some trader friends back then. Now I don't, but back then I had some trader friends when we started the trades together. My colleague introduced me for these Forex trades. So, and also some friends I had, but yeah, I would say none of them still trades after 8 years of my trading career. None of them are trading anymore because they went through this course. So initially, everybody has hope. Everybody wants to learn about the Forex trades, indicators, strategies, and even if they fail, they think that it's a lesson and you keep trading with the motivation. But at some point, if you cannot balance the work and life, then that creates the huge stress, and the stress will make you incorrect decisions, and you keep losing money, losing motivations, and you'll be out from the game. So that's why I don't recommend the scalping for a busy person. If you have only few hours to trade, then I recommend you to be a swing trader and try to decide on these couple of hours whether you're going to take trades or not. And if you can't trade, then simply come back to the chart tomorrow and not be a scalper, because scalping definitely is more difficult than the swing traders. Okay, so now let me talk about the swing traders' cons. So here is one. Turnover rate is worse than the scalping. I should have scalping here, but so you can't. Sometimes you might not gonna be able to find the edge in that day. So or 2 days, maybe 3 days, you might not gonna be able to trade. So you can't take trades as much as scalpers. So turnover rate is worse than the scalpers. And that will be one of the cons. If you have to be patient, and that will be the cons about the swing trade. And also the swap. The swap is something that's taken also. If you hold a position for a long time as a Forex trader, there's something called swap, and you are charged on these swaps. So the more you hold the positions, the more you have to pay for the swap, and that will be another cons about the swing trades. But as for scalpers, you don't care so much about swaps because you close position in a very short time period. And the next one, about another cons is high risk of holding trades. So like I mentioned before, there will be big news, big events in the market. And let's say if you keep holding the positions for a long time, then sometimes the news happens and the market crashes, and you might lose all these running profits, or sometimes it goes against you and you might lose. You might end up losing some money. So I think that will be high risk of holding the trades. But for scalpers, as I mentioned before, you don't have this risk because most likely you exit very soon, and you close it and you don't have positions, and you have less risk of holding the trades. So for the swing traders, stop loss or risk management becomes more key to success. So so these are some of the pros and cons about the scalpers and swing traders, swing trading styles, based on my own experience. So now let me talk about how I manage the positions and how I trade. So myself, I categorize myself as a day to swing trader. So my trading style, which is called KTS, Case Trading Strategy. Case Trading Strategy is based on day to swing trader. So day to swing means sometimes I close the position within the day, but sometimes I keep holding the position for a couple of days. And that's why I categorize myself as a day to swing trade. And I do this because I want to spend more time on things besides Forex trading. It doesn't mean that I don't like Forex trades. I like it, and I'm always interested in the market moves and candlesticks and how Ichimoku behaves. I like to monitor so much. If I have time, I want to monitor all day. But in terms of trading, in terms of time efficiency, I don't want to spend so much time. I don't want to take up so much time on monitoring and taking trades because I want to do more things about my life. So I have my hobby. I want to read books. I want to travel. I want to do other things. I want to meet my friends. I want to spend my time with my family. So that's why I decided not to be a scalper and decide to between day to swing trade in my strategy. But for those who want to monitor and take trades every day as a scalper, then that's totally fine. I'm not against the scalpers, but I think it depends on the character of your trading style or personality. So that's one. And also, my strategy is purely based on the trend follow strategy. So I never go against a major direction. I always capture the trend direction and ride on that direction. So let's say, so I use Ichimoku Kinko Hyo myself, and if Ichimoku Kinko Hyo says up, then I only look for the buy chance. I never look for the sell chance when Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen, or even Kumo or Chikou span shows bullish trend. So I am a trend follow strategy. And then I take the trades where I can find low risk and high returns. I always keep in mind when I take trades, I only capture the trading edge in lower time frames in 5 or 15 minute time frames. And that is because I can take lower risk per trade in that way. Lower risk means that not only the risk per trade, which I take 2% in average, I take 2% per trade, and not only the risk per pips or money, but also risk in time. I take low risk per trade in time also. And what that means is that, let's say your stop loss is 100 pips below, and you take a buy. And that means it may take a couple of days for the market to go backwards and hit a stop loss. And during the whole time you're in the loss, you have to watching the market runs with the loss, and I think that is not time efficient. But instead, my stop losses are usually between 15 to 35 pips range based on lower time frames, and if I see reversal confirmation, then I exit very soon. So I don't run the position with losses longer. So I take low risk per pips in percentage, and also I take low risk per time also. But in terms of the profit, the target, I take it in based on higher time frames, which are daily chart or the forward chart. So that's why naturally it becomes low risk and high return trades overall. And that's why I look at the charts in multiple time frames and capture trends in higher time frames and entries in lower time frames. So that's why I categorize myself as between day to swing trader, because sometimes I hold a position for a couple of days. As long as daily chart or the forward chart keeps going up, then I keep trading the profits. I don't really look for an exit timing because the market is going up, and I am not sure how long the market will trend. These days in Forex pairs it's been ranging, so my style is more like the day or intraday trades. But if there is big markets, big movements, big trends in the market, I hold the positions as long as it goes. I hold it for 2 weeks the most, which was euro dollar back in 2015. The market kept going up, and I keep trading the profits, and it lasted almost like 2 weeks. And it happened also in gold too. In gold, the market went up continuously all the way, and I kept holding the position for 2 weeks. So, in these trades, that will be swing trade, and basically these are the potential timings that I always look for on the entry edges. Let's say if I can't expect the market goes up for a long time, then I don't take it. Simply, I don't take it. Or I take 1% risk to follow, let's say, 1 hour chart or the 30-minute time frames. But most likely, I prefer to follow either daily or the forward chart trend directions because of this low risk and high return concept. So, so speaking about a little bit more about myself, I started off my trading career as a scalper, and so I know how scalping works. And although I wasn't really successful as a scalper at that time because of this full-time work, and scalping after the work was a bit difficult for myself, and I think that's one of the reasons why my performance was low. If I do scalping right now, my performance might be better because I have more time, more free time. But still, I prefer to follow the higher time frames. But anyways, I know the scalping strategies and I know how it works, and that's what I apply in the lower time frames. But in terms of the swing trade, I apply Ichimoku in higher time frames. So in that sense, I have like 2 brains. One brain is for the swing trade and other one is scalping. So let's say in terms of risk management, I do scalping. But in terms of profit, I think about the swing like that. So sometimes people ask me, are you a day trade or scalping or swing trade? And my answer is between day to swing. But when it comes to exit, I do it in scalping way. So it's like a mix of these strategies. So if you are still new and if you are still beginner of the markets, then I recommend you to become a swing trader, or a day to swing trader would be great because you can have better work-life balance in that way. So always keep in mind, if you are doing scalping, you can have more opportunities. So discipline will be the key for scalpers also. And never take trades and never harm your life and work balance by scalping. If you do it, then you might get frustrated, you might have less time for family and friends, and also your main job can be also affected by the scalping, which was also my case. So always be disciplined. If you don't trade, then don't trade. If you don't look at the charts, then don't look at the charts. And it might also be a bit difficult for scalpers because scalpers have more opportunities per day, whereas day to swing traders have less opportunities per day. So that might be a part of the FOMO, but the less the opportunities you have, the more your confidence it becomes. So, but patience is a key to success. So so that is my view about the pros and cons about the scalpers and the swing traders. So let me come back to some comments and let's do some free talk for the next 50 minutes or so until the Ichimoku membership live starts. So once again, thank you for joining everyone. Great to see you on this relaxing Saturday where the markets are closing, and that's why I talk about these topics besides charts and analysis today. All right, let's see. Kel says, I found buying FT5 permanently very economical. In your opinion, should I buy 1 year or forever? Because maybe next year FT6 will be released. If there will be FT6, then you can have a free upgrade for sure. Because this time that's what happened. From Forex Tester 4 to 5, there was a free upgrade. So I think you can have also a free upgrade from FT5 to 6 in the future, I believe. So in that sense, you can go for the lifetime subscription so that you don't have to worry about the monthly pay in that way. Yeah, rare for a full-on crash, flash crash in the Forex market. Yeah. I think, yeah, stock market's more likely. Yeah, or crypto's more likely these crash in the markets. It's hard to keep for scalping and mentally you get tired. Yeah, that's true. So you have to focus when you do scalping. So myself, I found myself to be more relaxing personality. I don't want to rush into things. So like my eating is a bit slower than usual, slower than normal, I would say. So, you know, when I was working full time, you know how Japan is. Japan, you know, it's the lunchtime is like noon to 1 p.m. sharp. If you're late, if you come back to office after 1 p.m., you get banished, you know, punished, something like that. So it's like one hour sharp. But I didn't really want to finish a meal in 1 hour, or it's not like 1 hour, because if you think about the commute from the office to the restaurant and come back, you know, you can't spend full 1 hour for eating. Maybe it will be like 30 minutes or so. And within 30 minutes, after ordering and finish eating, it's a bit difficult because you have to finish eating technically in about 15 to 10 minutes or so. But that's what usually, you know, workers do. But I wasn't that style. So usually I used to carry this lunchbox to the office so that I have more time to eat like that. So I prefer to do slower, and it's my personality. And that's why, that's one of the reasons why I decided not to do scalping anymore. But of course, there are people who like to scalping, who like the fast-paced trades. And if you have the discipline and, you know, good work-life balance, that should be fine. Okay, scalping during the news. Okay, I think during the news the spread will be higher, so you have to you have to be very specific on which broker to use in that way. Rahizat says, less entry, less risk. So from my opinion, if you're using scalping trades and entry using smaller time frame, possibility you will lose is high. Yeah, that's true. The possibility for the loss is high if you don't follow the major direction. Alex says, yes, all part of becoming an actual trader when you realize you can make just as much money in the long term, and you can buy scalping as your technical analysis gets better. So better WR and RR ratio. Yeah, that's true. Experience is the key. Experience is back test, and experience is the forward test by current forming candlesticks in markets. Yeah, Ichimoku is not for the lower time frames, especially the these Ichimoku, you know, what we call Ichimoku signals like Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen cross, Chikou-span break or Kumo breakouts or Kumo twists are a bit lagging for scalpers, because so I don't recommend you to use Ichimoku in lower time frames. Yeah, if you have the correct risk management, then you don't have to be afraid to hold positions for long days. Clint says, hi Kay, you say it's not possible to trade with Ichimoku in lower time frames. thinking in scalping cases, but what about the intraday tradings? For intraday trades, you can use Ichimoku. I mean, you can use Ichimoku in 1 hour or higher time frames. I use Ichimoku in 30 and it works. So I would say 30-minute chart or higher time frames is okay. But if it's too low, like 5 or 1 minute, then it doesn't really suit, in my opinion. Yeah, so like Bollinger Bands or RSI stochastics, moving average might be better for scalping. These moving average bounds or crossovers will be better for scalping, I believe. Okay, Toy says, hi Kay, how much capital do you recommend to make a decent income? For example, 3,000 USD per month based on your strategy. So my return per monthly basis is in between 10% to 20%. And so you can calculate backwards by knowing your living expense and monthly expense. Then you know how much capital you need to prepare to get these returns. But it depends on your performance too. If your return is 10%, then and if your living expense is like let's say 3,000 USD, then you can start with 30,000 USD, and technically you can support your life in that way. But it's not fixed, of course. Monthly return is not fixed. Sometimes monthly return becomes 5%, sometimes it becomes 20%, so it varies. So considering that, you have to know your performance based on back test and forward test and start the amount you want to start. Or I will suggest you to start small, like 1,000 USD, start small account and compound it. Compound it until you can support yourself, your family, by the returns on a monthly basis. Yeah, so Rush, thank you for that. Thank you for the comments. So yeah, and on top of this, on top of the difference between scalping and swing traders, of course, money management, risk management, and psychological management are always important. Radko says, I am scalping for 1 year now, and it is hardly difficult to make profit because scalping can be done on lower time frame, which often is volatile. Yeah, that's true. So this is also something that I wanted to mention about today, is that for the scalpers, the win rate means a lot. But for the swing traders, risk-reward ratio means more. So because of these different trading styles, you have to know which numbers are important depending on these different styles. So in other words, for the scalpers, risk-reward ratio is not that important. 1 to 1 is enough. Sometimes 0.5 to 1 is enough. As long as you can fix the profits, then that's fine. So win rate is more important for the scalpers. But for the swing traders, if the swing traders' risk-reward ratio is 1 to 1, then you can't make more profits. You can't make profits in the long run that quickly. So, but win rate is okay. Win rate, it can be 30%, 40%. But because of this, better risk-reward ratio, this win rate below 50% can be covered by these big winners. Yeah, Juan, you're welcome. Thank you for joining here. Great to see you. Less capital is the main reason for scalping. Yeah, for the less capital, scalping will be the best choice. Swing trader is for more for the bigger accounts. Yeah, that's for sure, because the return is a bit slower than scalping. So you can have two accounts, one for scalping, one for swing trade, and you can withdraw the money that you earned for the swing trades, and you put this money into scalping. Yeah, Alex, that's true. That's true. Psychology is important, in my opinion. Frank says you can use the multiple time frame Ichimoku in lower time frame to see what is going on with the Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen in the above time frames. Yep. So yeah, technically you can use, because you can apply Ichimoku in 1 minute like this and see the charts. So you see Kumo down, Kijun-sen down, and it will be downtrending in 1 minute. But it turns back very soon. In 2 minutes, it turns back to the Kijun-sen, and that's why I think that this is a bit difficult to follow. And so because in only one single candlestick can make the Kumo breakout or the retracement back to the Kijun-sen. Because this is 1 minute, every candlestick is counted in 1 minute. So in this case, in 2 minutes, the market went retrace all the way back to Kijun-sen. In 3 minutes, it went all the way back to Senko span A, for example. So on these few seconds, few minutes, you have to make decisions, and that's why I think it's a bit difficult to use Ichimoku. When it's ranging, you don't use Ichimoku anyways, but when it goes downward this way, it tends to be more spikier than higher time frames, and that is because every candlestick is 1 minute. These are not 1 hours or daily charts, but this is 1 minute candles, and so that's why it's a bit difficult and challenging. Considering spread, it becomes more challenging to close the positions. Billy says, hi Kay, how to deal with losing streak? Are you always in profit every month? Yes, I am. And how to deal with the losing streak is not to focus so much on losses, but to focus on the profits. The profits should be covered the previous losses, and your strategy should be built in that way. So losses are okay because losses are the part of the process, and it's the money you have to invest in order to get returns. So losses are okay, but how to deal with the loss is more important. Satya says, hi Kay, I hope you will start live trading room so that people can follow you well, and also you will be able to help lots of people. Live trading room means like I trade live and you see me trading live and take positions at the same time. I prefer not to do it because first of all, you don't really learn so much because you simply copy my trades. And myself, I never copy my trades in my life. And that's why simply I don't offer this because, I decided not to. I knew about the copy trades and I get some offers, but I don't do it because trades are on my own and your trades are on your own. So instead of copying trades, I recommend you to study and experience. That will be the quickest way, more faster way to be profitable in the long run. Yeah, signals will be okay. Signals will be okay. Alerts will be okay. But copy trades is not really, in my opinion. And the risk about the copy trade is if that trader is gone, then you can't make profits anymore. That's a risk. But if you have your own skill to trade and be profitable with your own trades and skills, then nobody can take out your skill. So you don't have that risk in that sense. I think it's better in the long run. Okay, thank you for the comment, everyone. Thank you for the comments. I'm reading it, and yeah, very interesting comments. Zebro says, is it possible to have a set of indicators that make money across multiple cryptos and currency, or do you have to change your strategy often to adapt to the markets? Yes, I have to change the strategy to the changing markets over time. The market will never be the same every month or every year. Last year, I remember on the Forex pairs, we saw big trends, 200 pips or 300 pips range in euro pairs and pound pairs last year, but not this year. So if you start to see your strategy doesn't work so much, then you have to minor change. And I don't recommend you to change the whole thing, but I recommend you to do minor change so that you can still keep trading on these changing markets. Okay, thank you for joining, everyone, and thank you for the comments. Let's see, let me pick up a few comments, and I will end the session for today. Your favorite scalping strategy? I don't have my scalping strategy anymore, so I guess I won't talk about it. If 1 hour chart, daily chart signals buy, but 4 hour chart signals sell, which direction will close? You have to take a screenshot and send it to me. Because in Ichimoku, if you follow Ichimoku trends, it will never be like that. It will never show daily up and 4 down. It will be either daily up and 4 flat, or daily flat and 4 down. Is possible, but daily up and 4 down is not really possible. If you still see that, then I think your understanding of Ichimoku is a bit wrong. Okay, so I guess I will be ending the live stream for now. So once again, thank you for joining, everyone. And I do see many comments, and sorry I wasn't able to cover all the comments. But after I finish this live stream, I will look back the comments and enjoy your chats. So yeah, so today's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday, so please relax yourself, just forget about the trades, forget the markets, and just relax, charge your energy to prepare for next week trades. Okay, so yeah, for those who are Ichimoku members, I will see you in 5 minutes at the Ichimoku live stream. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow at the weekly forecast. So once again, thank you for joining. If you liked it, please press the like button before you leave. That would be great. And see you soon. Until then, please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay gold. All right, bye for now. またね. Thank you.